Hello everyone, you're welcome back. My name is Yinka. In today's class, we're going to be making this Bubu dress like the one I wore in my last week celebration video. Since majority of us asked me to make it, so I'm going to be making it today. Alright, so for this project I use about 2.5 yards, but you can make it any length of your choice. It mustn't be a short one like the one I made. So let's get into it. At first, you're going to be measuring the length you desire, just like this. Me, I want 42, so I added 1.5 inch extra for allowance. Then that is 43.5. Then I measure that length twice, just like I'm showing you here. Then after that, I cut it out. Alright, so I've cut out twice my length. Then after that, I folded it the way I'm showing you here into two lengthwise. You can see this is how it's going to be on my body, and the way it is like this is my length. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to slit it into two again, one for the front and then the other for the back. Alright, so I've cut it into two lengthwise. One is for the front and then the other is for the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is to match them together, wrong side to wrong side. Then after that, I'll just fold it into four. You can see, first match them together like this. Match both the front and the back together like this, then fold it into four. Alright, so the fabric is folded into four now. As you can see, it's folded into four. And I folded it such that it's the right side that is on top. And here it's on fold. That is both your center front and center back. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is to measure your length. You can see we already used our length to cut it out, so I have exactly my length plus extra 1.5 inch for the allowance. Then towards this side you will have 30 inches because this material comes in 60 inches length. You know, all the chiffon kind of material, they are usually 60 inches. So here now we have 30 inches. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to notch the center here because that's going to be your center front and center back. Alright, so the next thing you're going to be doing is to measure 6.5 inches. That's going to be the neck width. For this tutorial, we're not going to be cutting anything out. Alright, so that's the neck width. Then you're going to notch it. If your shoulder is less than 16, you can measure 5.5 instead of the 6.5. Ensure you notch the 4 layers together. Alright, so the next thing now is to measure the joining on the shoulder. So for that, I made the joining to be 6 inches, so I measure another 6 inches inward like that. Then I'll notch it again. So I'll notch it. So here is your neckline, and then from here to here is where you're going to have your joining. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to measure down my nipple points. I'll make a mark. And then on that nipple point, you insert your biggest circumference divided by 4. My hip is my biggest circumference, so my hip is 42, so I divided the 42 into 4, and that gave me 10.5. Then I added ease of 1 inch to it, so that is 11.5. So I'll make a point, and then I'm just going to roll it straight down to the hem of the dress, because it's just a free dress. That is how I made the one on my celebration video. Just roll it straight down, and then after that you're just going to push pin inside that line and then transfer the shock to the other side. But then I'm going to show us a little variation for this one because I will like it to be a little snug on my body. Alright, so I'm going to measure all my vertical measurements. First I'll measure down my nipple point, my waist length, and then the hip line. Then I'm going to just extend the line just a little, the way I'm showing you here, so that I can know where those lines are. Then after that I will input my bust measurement divided by 4 plus ½ inch ease on my nipple point, like that. Then on my waistline I'm going to input my waist measurement divided by 4 plus ½ inch ease. And then on my hip line I'm going to input my hip measurement divided by 4 plus ½ inch ease. Then I'm going to connect them together this way. You can use your cuff to connect it as well if you don't want to use just your hand, or you can just use your hand, anyone that is convenient for you. Alright, so from the hip line you roll it straight all the way to the hem of the dress. You can stop like 3 inches before you get to the hem. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is just to push pin on your line. Just follow your shocked mark and then push in the pin so that you can be able to turn the fabric and transfer the shock to the other side. Alright, so I'm done pushing in the pin. After that I'll just flip the fabric over, then I'll just use my chalk to connect the pins together. This way we are transferring the markings to this other side. But if it's the straight one, it's just for you to roll the straight line, that's all. So you can decide to use the fitted one or the free one, whichever you choose to do. I've explained how you can do that for you now. I believe it's clear. Alright, so the next thing is to open it up. Then you're going to mash the right side to right side so that you can take to the sewing machine and join the shoulders together. So mash the fabric together, right side facing the right side. Please kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Alright, so let's start sewing. So first mash it together, right side to right side, and then you locate the center notching. Locate the center notching. Alright, so this is my center notching. So that's my center back and center front together. Then I'll pin the center. Alright, so if to the left you have another notching, mash it together again. You can pin if you want, but from that point I'm just going to run my stitch with ½ inch allowance to the next notching. See, we have another notching here as well. Alright, so from there to there, that is 6 inches, so I'm going to join it. Alright, so I've joined one side. So you go back to the center notching again. This is the center notching. You know, we have done one side. So to the right, you locate the other notching. So from that point, you join it to the next notching. So the distance there too is 6 inches. You join together with ½ inch seam allowance. Alright, so we're done joining the shoulders together. You can see that is how it's looking. This is the center. You locate first notching to the left. You join it all the way to the second notching. The distance between them is 6 inches. Go back to the center again. Towards the right, you locate the notching and then join it till you get to the second notching. So that's basically it. Alright, so after that you take off the pin and then you open it up and turn it to the right side. But before then, let me show you how it's looking. Alright, so we have joined it. So this part here that is open now is going to be your neck, where your head is going to come out from the dress. Alright, so the next thing is to hem this part. So first fold once and then you fold again, and then you're going to run your stitch. Keep stitching till you get to where you have your joining. So when you get to where your joining is, you can see where my joining is now. You continue stitching across. Just ensure you open it flat very well the way I'm showing you. Then you continue stitching across till you get to the neck. Even when you get to the neck, you continue stitching it across again. You see the way it is. Ensure you open it very well the way it is. Can you see? So continue stitching. You can see we've gotten to the neck opening. So continue stitching across. Till you get to this second joining. When you get to the second joining, you still continue till you get to the very end of that line. So when you get to the end, you're still going to repeat the same step to the second side. So just turn it and repeat the same step to the second side. Fold and then you run your stitch. Alright, so after hemming that part, this is how it's looking. You can see we have slits, then we have the neck opening. This is the neck opening here, and then we have another slit. You can see that's how it's looking. Let me put it on my neck so that you can understand it better. Alright, so this is how it's going to be on your body. You can see the neck and then the shoulder joining, and that's all. So the next thing you want to do now is to hem all the raw edges, including the bottom part of the dress, and then I'll show you the next step after that. Make sure you hem all the four corners of the dress so that it can look very neat and beautiful. Alright, so I'm done hemming it. So after that, you just place it together like this, arrange it very well, and then you're going to take to the sewing machine and just follow your short line on the body and close it like that. You're going to just run your stitch on the right side just the way it is here. That is how you're going to run your stitch. You can pin it so that it can be easy for you, so that it's not going to be moving up and down. So I'm just going to take to the sewing machine now and run my stitch. So I'll just follow my short line and run the stitch. So when you're done with one side, you also do the second side, and that's it. Your dress is ready. And that's the end of the class for today. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please kindly subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. Thanks, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.